Mark, first question here in the front.
Kevin, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Given the circumstances of the way Game 1 ended, how difficult is it for you, for teammates, to rebound and put all that behind you as if it never happened? And is that the process that you've learned to do in that situation?
Yeah, I think regardless of what went down in the nature of in which we lost, you just have to move on. I think I guess a silver lining for us would be the togetherness and just having one another's backs going into Game 2. We know what to expect from this team. We were locked into our game plan. We never let the game get out of hand, which it can happen here at Oracle when you have a 7-8 point deficit against them. It goes to 15, goes to 20, 25, and so on and so forth. So we felt like we fought hard. We continued to make big plays when we needed to, and the last we made a 2-minute game. The last 2 minutes were tough for us. We made some mistakes, went into overtime, and the game got away from us a little bit. So we just have to have a good showing in Game 2 and come out and play our style.
George said yesterday that was the toughest loss he has ever experienced in his career. How can LeBron, how can you lift a guy like that or a J.R. Smith to make sure that they have completely erased that from the cycle?
Sure. I mean, I heard Ron mention J.R. being resilient. He always has been. He's always, found a way to, whether it's catch fire in games or, play both sides of the ball or do things that don't necessarily show up in a stat sheet or make a miraculous play. So, that George is, pretty strong-minded, that he will bounce back as well. But, it reminded me a lot of, I was sitting there watching at the time, but 2015 Game 1 went into overtime, and we all know how that ended. So, but we were resilient, fought back, and forced it to 1-1 back to Cleveland. So we're hoping to do the same, but we got to come out really in those first 5 minutes and show what we're capable of and set the tone.
On your right, Dave.
Dave McMenamin, ESPN. Kevin, you mentioned JR in terms of being resilient. You guys don't have a ring probably if he doesn't have that third quarter of Game 7.
Right, down 8, right.
Right. What's the experience like? Because he's had some awesome moments for you guys, but he's had some lesser moments. And have you guys had to pick him up at all the last couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, we just, JR is, he's always going to be in a light mood. And, like I said, 24, 48 hours pass, we know what he's capable of. He knows what he's capable of. And, he's been in pretty good spirits. I think naturally after that loss, he took it very hard. It's the same thing with a lot of us. G Hill's the same way. I mean, those guys know that they can be better, and that we all expect a lot out of each other. And JR is one of the 4 guys left from the 2016, as you know, and we've talked about all season. And he has that experience. He's been through several moments, either high or low before. So. JR is the best thing he can do is just go out there and be himself, and we're going to get I'd imagine a great effort out of him tomorrow.
Michael in the front.
Michael Pina from Vice Sports. LeBron's accuracy and volume from the mid-range is way up in this postseason compared to previous years. How important is that to your offense? And how important is that to your offense?
It's huge. It's been huge for us. I mean, it's. You look at him getting into the paint and scoring at such a high clip there, and making miraculous plays, and off balance, one leg, floaters, dunks, everything. You see the pull up threes in transition, hitting at a high clip. But he's had a little bit of everything in this postseason, whether it's been off the dribble, whether it's been just turning the ball out on the post from the mid range and going over his right and left shoulder. He just has everything in his game and continues to work on his craft at such a high level, and it just seems like he continues to get better.
Have you noticed defenses treating him any differently this year?
I think it's my 4th year playing with Bron, and I think just teams will try anything. They'll try anything to slow him down and to stop him, but he's been able to continue to add so much to his game and have supreme confidence in what he does and taking the floor that, yeah, teams have, we've seen it all, and, teams will try anything to try and slow him down, but, it's really hard when especially in this postseason too, he's playing at such a high level.
Grant Crone, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. Ty Lue was just saying that you were really aggressive in Game 1, maybe more aggressive than you'd been in the past. Do you feel that he cited you being 8 of 11 inside the three-point line? Do you feel that you need to be more aggressive in this series, that more is required from you to win this series?
Yeah, I think to beat Golden State, I think more is required from everyone. It's going to take I thought Larry Nance showed a lot of poise and stepped up big for us in Game 1, especially on this stage for being his first finals game. I thought he was great for us, and we need more of those type of efforts. But as far as my game, I just looked at some games in the past finals where I had been able to get shots and looks that were there, and I was 1 for 8 from the three-point line. Very uncharacteristic for me, but those shots are there, and with so much attention being brought to LeBron and him penetrating and all eyes on him at all times, it's those shots are going to be there for us. But there's also the extra pass, and those guys are closing out hard. We have to continue to be aggressive.
Joe in the third row.
Joe VardenCleveland.com. Kevin, we've talked a bunch about this over the years, about how this is supposed to be a series against the Warriors where you struggle because of matchups. But at least production-wise, going back the last several games, you've been there. Your numbers are pretty good. So is there something that changed for you, and when do you think that was, just as far as playing against the Warriors?
I just think it reminds me a little bit of our first series of this postseason against Indiana. I was a little banged up, especially after games 1 and 2, and shot pretty poorly, and that's just the way it went. I think in 2016 I was able to do a lot of things that weren't necessarily not great for us on the offensive end, but did a lot of things that helped us win basketball games. But I think just settling in, knocking down shots, and just getting it going from inside the paint. I feel like you looked at Tucker and Capella in the last series. There were so many shots and so many offensive rebounds. They were able to create extra possessions and get easy touches inside. That's just what I was trying to do, and get us a lot of offensive rebounds and beat them on the glass.
Anyone with the final question? Last one here in the front.
Kevin, Michael Pina, Vice Sports. How important is Rodney Hood for you guys for the rest of the series, and what kind of teammate has he been since the trade deadline?
I think everybody that we acquired at the trade deadline has been great for us. They've shown that they want to win and go out there and compete every game. So Rodney has been a little up and down, but he really has never wavered. Same with Jordan, same with G. Hill, same with Larry. I mean, those guys, sometimes they'll get a little frustrated, but it's not for lack of wanting to be better for the team and wanting to, go out there and help us win. So, everybody's going to get their chance, and they got to be ready.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks.
This concludes the session.